Hey there, my name is Scott Groves. I'm a loan officer, coach, author, husband, father, jujitsu practitioner currently, and you can catch me this week on the Jesse T Show.
Scott, welcome to the Jesse T Show, brother.
Welcome. Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. Our good friend Laura Di Benedetto put this connection together. And whenever she says connect with someone, I say immediately. So I'm so glad we plugged in, man.
Me too. I'm glad you go by Jesse T because it's like as many times as I read your name, I just still want to mispronounce it. So like Tedisco, that's like the coolest last name ever.
Thanks, brother. It's like everything else in my life in the beautiful way. It's a walking contradiction because it doesn't make sense. It's an Italian last name, but it means German or German-like. So if you were in Italy and you're like, oh, that's a German car, German-like, you're like, Tedesco. Like, doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But yeah, thank you so much for the compliment. And that actually, it's a family nickname that goes way back. It's, everybody in Boston calls us T, but it's also probably easier to say T than it is Tedesco. You're right.
Perfect.
Yeah, brother. Well, tell the world a little bit about you, what you do, and, what got you to this point in your life, dude.
Yeah, so pretty crazy, man. I'm 42 years old as we're recording this in 2021. We've come out of a crazy year in COVID. And I like to see my day job, where we tend to spend 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I do home loans for a living. It's my primary source of income. It's my primary kind of 9 to 5 focus. But because I'm a glutton for punishment, I also run a coaching business for loan officers. So kind of early morning and then Sunday for about 4 to 5 hours on Sunday. I run a coaching business where we train loan officers how to basically lead generate and run their business like a business. That led to me writing a book, shameless plug for Lead Generate, 61 Days to Double Your Pay.
Oh, yeah.
And then when that became a best-selling book on Amazon, which is pretty easy to do because you can game the system on Amazon. But when that happened, you start getting calls for doing keynotes and mentoring and kind of facilitating seminars. So then I spent like $100,000 learning how to properly facilitate seminars and live events and kind of Tony Robbins style and how to bring out the best in people. So, it's kind of been this evolution of like loan officer, coach, speaker, author, do some other stuff, try to go to boxing and jiu-jitsu a couple of days a week to get punched in the head and tapped out by 130-pound women that are like twice as good as I am at jiu-jitsu. So yeah, I do a lot, man. But most importantly, it all kind of revolves around that space of personal finance, mortgage, or being a loan officer.
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, that's it's very humbling, the sport of martial arts in general, but jiu-jitsu specifically, because size and strength is immediately taken away by those who have great technique. And so you could be a 120-pound woman dominating a 200-plus-pound man.
Totally. There's this 130-pound brown belt. I won't use her name because I think she'd be embarrassed, but she's the LA County sheriff. And she realized like, hey, if I don't want to have to pull out my gun one day and shoot somebody, I need to be able to manhandle like a 220-pound male. So she got into jiu-jitsu. She's a brown belt, teetering on black belt right now. And it's very humbling to have an attractive young lady just throw you around on the mat like you're a rag doll. And you're right, man. The skill, the leverage, kind of using that fulcrum of like where she knows she can get pressure. It's encouraging, but it's also really embarrassing as a dude.
Do you follow Jocko Willink at all?
Yeah, it's funny. I had the opportunity to work with Jocko about 10 years ago when he got his start in the professional arena. He was the sales coach at a company called Prospect Mortgage. He had owned an MMA gym with the CEO of our company. And so I actually got to work with Jocko for about a year. And I'd say we're not friends, we're acquaintances. I wish I could say we were friends. That was a strategic mistake, not becoming better friends with him. But that back then he was just like this meathead out of the Navy SEAL. I don't even think he knew how to spell mortgage. But yeah, big strategic mistake, not becoming better friends with him. But yeah, he's awesome. I listen to his podcast.
He's a big proponent of law enforcement having at least like a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and Rogan talks about this a lot of times too. And there's actually, I don't know if it's because of those two, Rogan and Jocko, but there's I don't know if it was Minneapolis or somewhere in the Midwest. They're actually going to institute every police officer has to have a blue belt so that they can effectively mitigate a situation without having to use deadly force. Because in jiu-jitsu,
you can manhandle somebody without hurting them.
Yeah, you practice murder for a living and you don't murder. You know what I mean? Like you put people in headlocks and you choke people out, and you get people in these compromised positions where you just basically. And here's the thing: people that don't understand jiu-jitsu, it's extremely if the person knows what they're doing, and they know, they've been trained well, and they know how to get you in a position that's like, it's one of those things where you can put someone in a position where they can't fight back, but you're not going to injure them long term whatsoever, especially if you don't break anything, snap anything. If you just put them in an arm bar where they kind of like have to tap out, or a leg lock, or at the end of the day, it's very, compared to other martial arts and other forms of, aggressive putting people down, it's actually a really like nice way to do things.